Warning, this podcast is not for the faint of heart. We keep it real and raw and talk about issues that other podcasts wouldn't dare. This is the Truth of the Matter podcast with Dr. Spencer. Step into our world. What do you do if you fall in love with one of your kids' friends who's over 18? How do you handle getting caught in bed with your boss? Why do girls like bad boys? Are you burned out from an unbalanced career and personal life? Are you still working while your kids are telling you how their days went? Our passion is to help people in relationships, anyone you have a connection with in life, neighbors, coworkers, family, spouse, kids, yourself, and helping you achieve the work-life balance. Let's have some fun and let's get educated. This is the Truth of the Matter podcast. And now your host, Dr. Lamarr Renee Spencer.
Hey there. Are we live or are we back?
Yeah, we're live now. We live. Okay,
right.
This is so perfect, right? Hey, sissy, that's my friend. That's my sissy friend. So you know what? Whatever can happen will happen. That her Murphy's Law. So my friend, she had like a YouTube page, and sometimes we used to fall into this, the craziness too. It's like you got so much going on, and I never really understood it until I started doing it. I'm like, oh my gosh, people see you on the screen, but it's so much going on that prepares you for that time. And here it is. And guess what? Of course, this is the perfect opportunity to talk about the subject tonight, because we're going to be talking about entrepreneurs and how you balance work and life. So I feel like I've been knowing this young lady forever, and we just been talking, and she has a lot going on. Look, I'm going to let her tell about what she has going on. And I said, I love your assistant because he was on it, because we try to do so much, especially today. And when you help people with work-life balance, it's easier than for you to balance your own life. So as you see, like working full-time and then got all this going on, it's a lot. So again, we're talking about entrepreneurs here. And I met Miss Rasheedah Krebs the other day, and we had such a great conversation. I swear I felt like I've been knowing her forever. Just a genuine person.
Thank you.
You know what? First, before we get into it, please tell about your business and how they can find you, just in case people don't stay to the end. So please let them know what you do and tell them how they can find you.
Yes, you can find me on LinkedIn, Rasheedah Krebs, Facebook, Rasheedah Krebs. All you have to do is type Rasheedah Krebs and it will lead you to me. I am a home care provider. So I go out to homes and, help assist with little things, keeping them independent. But most of my journey with home care is built upon education. I love to educate. So I am a CNA instructor and an MA instructor, medical assistant instructor. I have taught at some of the biggest schools just under my home care provision. Also, I'm linked with the American Cross, St. Francis Hospital to teach TB. So there's a number of things that I do. I'm also a wife, a grandmother, and superwoman some other times, go in the phone booth and I twirl around.
I love it. And you're right. It's just like, like you said, you had this whole laundry list of things that you do, as I do, right? Mm-hmm. And sometimes I'm just like so tired to the point where I'm delirious.
Sorry. It's always going. It's always going.
It's always.
I'm just like, hey, I can't help it.
That's what it is, because, right, when you think about it, especially being in our line of work, you're always helping someone and someone always depends on you. I know my phone starts ringing at like 6:30 in the morning, and it doesn't matter if it's a Friday, Monday, Tuesday, even Saturday.
Even on the weekends. Yeah.
Yeah. It never ends. And it's always an emergency. Everybody has an emergency. They all need, so like even a little bit about me. I know you guys see me posting things like that, but like I really have like a full-time job, right? So by trade, I write managed care agreements. And then, of course, I do the life coaching, business coaching, and also relationship coach. So I do that as well. And I did not realize that social media takes a lot of attention. It probably, right? It takes more attention than I could ever have imagined. So like my MBA is in marketing, but I can't market for myself. I know nothing about that. 20 years ago, you didn't come on a computer and introduce yourself. You just it was like word of mouth, or you put an ad in the paper or the phone book or something like that. Now,
absolutely.
So what you think, Miss Rasheedah? Because I know now it's like you got to get on the camera, you got to talk in front of people.
I'm telling you, I made the best investment of my life, and I got me a good assistant. Because without him, I wouldn't have made it. I just wouldn't have made it. I would have gave up. I think I would have gave up within the first year. We're getting the paperwork together, setting up the sites and stuff. So like we were talking about before, it takes a lot to invest in yourself. You have to invest in yourself, in order to be successful in whatever it is that you're trying to do, especially self-ownership. Being an entrepreneur, you must invest, but you also must invest the right way. You know what I mean? You have to pick and choose some of those investments. Like I can have abundance of clients. I can get, because I'm already a nurse, and in my hometown, I'm already popular within that environment. So getting a client or anything like that is not a problem. But in order for me to be successful and be something that is out of the ordinary in home care, I got to take that drive a little bit somewhere else and, pull out other things that's in home care that's lacking. And most of it is education. Healthcare needs education all the way around, continuing education. And not only that, axillary programs that'll pull other people in to want to be a part of that environment. So that's just my take on it. It's consistent. You have to have a really good one. And sometimes you can't look around the corner. You can't just get them because that's my home girl. No, that's my homeboy. I want to keep it to somebody that knows me. You got to find somebody that don't know you and share the same passion as you do about your business.
Right. You're absolutely right. Because they become like your right hand. They become like your eyes, your ears, your mind. Because there's times where, like for me, I'm like, oh, I could do it, but I'm tired. And I'm like, this cannot be what it's all about. And then especially now, like I said, with the technology, not only do you have to, of course, try to master whatever you're trying to do, but also technology.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, wait a minute, I got to do thumbnails and I got to learn these mixing boards for sound and lights and stuff. I'm like, are you serious?
It's almost like you got to take a class.
Yeah.
You got to pay for a class.
Yeah.
Okay. Because it is hard. But it happens, those are just like the bumps and the bumps. It happens. Because if we don't have mistakes in this business, how can we be the best in this business at what we do?
Right.
So sometimes we just have to just take a deep breath and step back like, hey, it's going to happen. Ain't nobody out here perfect. But at least I'm trying. That's what I tell people. They'll be like, oh, you should be here. You should be there. Oh, I'm trying. Daily.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. And even with focusing on your business, you still have a family and friends.
Yeah.
That you got to focus on. So how are you able to juggle that with being an entrepreneur and then also your kids, your grandkids, your husband, all of those things?
I'm just gonna keep it real because they might be listening. I am what you call a general in this army. I have a schedule, or the sergeant, whatever you might want to say. I have a schedule. Everybody is put on that schedule. I must say, in the beginning, as I was starting up my business, I gave a lot of focus to it. And I saw that my family was suffering from that. I never had time. I'm always busy. I have 5 grandkids, but I also have 5 children, and then my husband too. So I just sat back and was like, what is really worth it to me? Is it worth it being this successful business owner and popping out there? And, yes, Rasheedah Krebs, go get it. Without the family that is always my cheerleading team, is the reason why I started into it. So that just made me come together and create a schedule. And you have to do that. And I think family should be on that schedule. You have to block out that time. I stopped working at 6. I start at 8. I stop at 6. That's when my assistant and whomever I hire to do home care things, they take over full course, because I need that time for my family. My husband works all day, and he wants to come home to a hot meal, a clean house. And since I do work from home, I can kind of multitask with the cleaning of the house. But at 6 o'clock, it's all about my family. Weekends, it's all about my family. I answer the phone from 8 to 12 because the kids are asleep. So I put that in my schedule. At first, I had to have like a Google reminder because I I get so wrapped up on this computer, and I'm just a going, and then I'm filing, and then and I got the social media going, and I'm chit chatting here and there, but it wasn't working because I was lacking on those hours that I promised to be dedicated wholeheartedly to just my family. And it's hard to do when you trying to build generational wealth and trying to build something for your family to also share yourself with the family too while you're doing it. If that makes sense. Does that make sense?
No, absolutely. And I like the idea of having a schedule because
You have to have a schedule.
I felt like I didn't have a schedule, and I felt like, and I'm a little upset, not with people, but myself, right? So I said, you know what? I'm not going to do anything. Let's just say Sunday, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then I'm like so tired by then Friday. I'm like, okay, give me Saturday and Sunday. But people don't hear it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what you have to do is you have to kind of teach them how to respect your time and your space.
Right. It's a boundary.
It's boundaries, yes. We have to put them up. And I know for me, I did. And they'll call like 5:30, 6 in the morning, like, hey, what you doing? I'm tired.
Yeah.
I'm sleeping, And then on top of that, like I have a 14-year-old, and then I have, she goes with her friends and things like that. So now I gotta, go take them here, go do this, go do that. And you're right, you need a schedule. I feel like for me, it was almost like you're never off.
You're always on. Yeah.
You're always on.
Yeah.
And you're right. Like for me, like I said, I can balance your life. I mean, to the T. Okay. You will be a perfect. But for me, I'm like, oh my God, I got to deal with this. This is me. Deal with me.
You know what they say in the medical field? We are our worst patients.
Yeah.
I can advise, I can educate, go full throttle. But when it comes to me, I do not like for my husband to come home and say he's in pain, or if I hear a cough, or if there's a fever, or there's some homework I got to help my younger ones with, or I need to advise the older ones. I'm like, oh, no, you perfect. You already perfect. You came out of me. So you're perfect,
Yeah.
And I had to just get out of that. And I know this is crazy, but they act like it too. I kind of like trick my mind. I like mental health. I've been working in mental health for a long time. So I adapted some of those ways, but I kind of like tricked myself to where, okay, that's my patient, or I have to do this with that patient. It's what I have to do because that's the way. I know it just sounds crazy, but the mind works in mysterious ways. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes we have to do those little tricks out there to keep us grounded and focused on what we're having to do and to have that schedule in place. But that's just like me. So I just trick myself like that's my patient.
Yeah.
My husband said, we don't work for you. You're not our boss. But that like keeps me in line and focused on the things that are very, very much important to me, and that is my family. And secondary is my business. So, that's just how I have to look at it. Although I want my business to be firsthand, but it's impossible because I love my family. So,
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. I have to like kind of check myself. Like you cannot do it by yourself, right? You can't do it all. And then also at the same time, it's like you do need help. And you can't be afraid to ask for help. And it's okay to delegate.
Right.
It's okay.
It is. And I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect by far. I know it might sound perfect or whatever. I have some bumps. There are some bumps. I am so imperfect it doesn't make sense,
Yeah.
But I try,
Yeah.
So
I tell people, I say I'm perfectly imperfect.
Right. I love it.
Right? I am. And then I think sometimes I'm like, am I attracted to like all this chaos and all of that, pressure?
Yeah.
I kind of feel like I am because it's like when I'm not doing anything and I'm sitting idle, I'm like, there must be something I need to be doing. Right? Because my mind is constantly racing and I'm never like at rest.
Right.
And you're right, like that mental health thing is very important. We don't like to talk about it too often and we don't like to admit it, but trust me, it's a lot of therapists sitting on some couches.
Okay. I'm telling you what, people need to get up out of that and maybe, if they could be able to share with someone that's under a HIPAA law, they can't tell your business. If they tell your business, there's ways that you can get that back versus sitting there keeping it bottled all up inside and you try to do this and you try to do that. You're pulled in so many women are pulled in so many different ways, not to say anything, take anything away from men, because they are too. But just as a woman, as a mother, having to be the home provider. I mean, if you are married or you have a significant other, you become that mother, that nurturer, that everything, to keep that afloat. So we're pulled in so many different directions that, hey, you need somebody to talk to where you can sit on the couch and, and just let it out.
Yeah.
With no judgment.
Right.
And get back up and get back to it.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. But like growing up, right? We were always told to like, it'll be okay. Pray about it. Go talk to somebody about it. But that doesn't always work for everyone, right? Because even when you talk to someone at a church or your family or your friends or whomever, they could be going through things too.
Yeah. Right? Or you hold something back.
Yeah.
You don't tell it all.
Yeah.
That's that you only give it a bits and pieces, and that's where things start to look like a lie. So it really doesn't work. So I wonder what our guests might have to say.
Yeah.
Well, how do they deal with it?
Yeah. Like I know my friend, well, I call her my sister. Cicely, she has 5 kids too. And I know that both of us have autoimmune illnesses, right? So there's times where we were on her live doing her YouTube page, and both of us were sick. I mean, she has Addison's and all kinds of things. I have MS, and I remember one day we were doing lives for like 6 hours.
Ooh.
We were invited to a live, and then next thing you know, she turned on her live, and it never turned out the way we planned. We always had something to talk about, but this particular time, both of us are sick. We're both exhausted, and she opens the floor to everyone, right? So this guy came on. He was a DJ, so she let him DJ. Somebody else came on. They were looking for a boyfriend, a girlfriend, whatever. So then they end up hooking up. I mean, that day I was like, she and I said, I don't know about you, but my legs are shaking. I gotta go take some medication. She was sick. And I was like, I know we must be going to heaven. Like seriously, we gotta be going to heaven, because it was almost like we both felt like the junk drawer in the kitchen.
Yeah.
You know,
sometimes it's like that.
Yeah. If it's something going on, people will call us and say, hey, what you think about this? Next thing you know, like their issue became ours, because we up here trying to figure it out. You know,
and I don't know if I got a beamer on me or something, but that is, I'm telling you, everybody, even in some of my classes, you know, it's like I come in as the educator and I'm the instructor and I'm laying down the law. By the time they graduate, I'm Ma Dukes, I'm Auntie, you know, I'm a whole lot of that, because in the midst of that, I have consumed and took on, you know, some of their issues and been able to advise and go through, you know, some of the things with them. I just attract those type of people, but I know it is hard. It is hard juggling all these.
Yeah.
Yep, the junk drawer. It is hard getting it together.
Yeah.
Mine's is full of plastic bags. You know, I still got that habit to have the plastic bags from the grocery store.
Well, you know, I'm in Jersey. They stopped giving you plastic bags.
Oh, okay, yes, honey. I got to have them. Sometimes I double bag so I can have some in my drawer.
Me too.
Yes.
Me too. We're the same way. I'm like, you know, we got to get this together, because she's right. It's like, well, I've dropped the link. If anyone wants to come on and, you know, say something that's great, you know, that'd be great. She's probably busy, but I'm just like, oh my gosh. Sometimes, you know, like you start hearing what other people have to say, and you really have to think hard, right? And then at night, you're like, oh my God, you're drained, like literally drained.
Yeah.
You know, and she said she's upgrading from using trash bag, store bags
to the trash bags, girl.
Yeah. I'm telling you, it is just absolutely insane.
It's crazy, and I gotta have them. I got.
Me too. Well, let me just tell you, when they stop giving people plastic, when they start giving out plastic in Jersey, you would have thought I was going through withdrawal. Like, y'all don't have any bags? Like, seriously?
I know we went out of town, my husband and I, and we were in Chicago, and we went in, we doing our little shopping, and when we got there, she said, "Well, are you gonna need any bags?" So I'm like, "Well, yeah. You don't think we need bags?" And she said something like 75 cents, $1. I said, "For the bag?" I think I had to clutch my pearls. You know, like, how dare you?
I tell you. Yeah. We pay, you know, we gotta pay for bags too, right? And but they're not like plastic, they're like the other ones. But I'm like, I know they have charged me. I know they have, you know, and it's ridiculous, because I'm like, wait a minute, bags used to be free, I thought.
Yeah, you know, that's what I thought. Yeah. I'm like, how can you charge me for this? I mean, you was giving them away like hotcakes. Yeah. And now you charge me for and now it's almost like, hey, I'd rather just, can I take the card outside and load my trunk? You know? Isn't a fee for that.
Yeah. Well, we went to last week, we went to Virginia and Maryland, right? So, I mean, you would have thought, I told my cousin, I said, I feel like I just came home from prison. And I'm in the halfway house. Because I thought it was so cool, right? So we went to Wegmans. So Wegmans, it's like 3 floors to their Wegmans. And so you put the cart on this like conveyor belt or whatever, and then it drops it down to the next level, and it drops it again. I thought that was so cool, right? You couldn't tell me that, like, I didn't even know they had systems like that. So what happened is, so now you don't need people to bring your carts or anything in anymore, because it like has this belt where it drops and then it kind of brings it back. I never knew that, right? So I'm like, wait a minute. I didn't know that. Like, I wanted to just do my cart that way. And then so we get outside, and he's like, well, they let us bring this cart down. So now we got the cart going down the street to the hotel. So you're right. They probably gonna charge us just for time for taking this cart.
For taking the cart. Or they're gonna have the stop locks on you, the brakes.
Yeah.
Oh, you got the brakes on me. I can't even make it to the car before the brakes.
Wait, we couldn't. I promise you that thing had brakes on it. It let us get to the corner, and then they gave us bags. They gave us paper bags, right? So now we got to take these paper bags out the cart and we got her walking down the street. I was like, "Are you serious?"
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, you're absolutely right. She said invisible pearls. Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's just absolutely insane. You know, it really is. And the thing about it is, if you go somewhere, just like you go to the store anywhere, and you say to a person, "Hey, how you feeling today? How you doing?" You gotta like almost escape from them because they give you a whole list of things they got going on.
Well, where I'm from, they kind of standoffish. If I was to walk up and say, "Hey, how you doing?" They probably look, oh my God, this should speak to me. It's not enough of that. I don't think it's enough of people greeting one another. All of this plays on being an entrepreneur and the mental state, if you look at it, peace of mind. But all of that, being social, going out, complimenting the next woman. Your hair is nice.
Yeah.
Even if I don't know her, I like your glasses. Oh, hi, speaking as we walk past each other. We could be staring each other in the face and you won't even speak, but you're staring at me like, is it something in my teeth? Are my locks out of place? And I'm always self-conscious because this is a new lifestyle for me. You see on my profile, I got the European going on. So, but I got this new lifestyle. So when they're looking, I'm like, is one sticking up like Pippi Longstocking or what's going on? Just speak. Say hi. You like it. Where you get it from? What's going on? It's not enough of it.
Yeah. And I have to say, right, she taught me a lot, right? Because she's from the South. So she's from South Carolina. You know what? She speaks to everybody. Like she goes in the store, she done spoke to about 5 or 6 people on the phone. She done spoke to 5 or 6 people, and she know their whole life. And I'm like, I'm from Jersey. Now we speak, but we ain't trying to figure out nothing because we're tired. Because we drive everywhere. It's crazy, but we tired. And plus, we close to New York. We're like, hey, how you doing? Keep moving. We don't want to know that whole thing because we got our own. Right. And I was even saying before I came on, I was like, look, I had this all together. And then I realized I got my little brush here, right? Because I'm looking in, you talking about your braids, self-conscious. I said, why do I look like Eddie Kane from the Five Heartbeats?
Girl,
I look like I went back.
Look. Now you know what?
And then I tell everybody, no, I'm just, they know I've been praying about my edges coming in. I'm like, oh man, they look all right. But then I had to slick it here, but I couldn't because I had to come on the camera. So now I took my hand and I went like that. And I said, the heck with it. Look,
I put this twist up because my daughter's in there. I said, yes, I'm gonna get those starter locks into me in my head. As I'm looking at pictures, I'm like, oh, it's gonna be beautiful. It's gonna be full. You know what I mean? I'm like, woo, yeah. Boy, that first rip. I said, oh, I need a lot of headbands. I don't know, honey. I think I was looking like something about a Tupac or something. One of his crew members or something. It was real show.
Girl.
Whoa.
Girl. I'm telling you,
I already know, and having to be on camera and having to be in front of people. I'm going to meetings. When I first walked into what meeting, they had to take a double take. And one of the doctors, she made a comment. I am an aggressive nurse. I'm aggressive by nature. I got a lot of brothers, but she said, well, welcome to death row. Said, that was another clutch your pearl moment. Did you? And then here all day long, I'm fixing that headband. I was a girl. I was a lady.
Girl, oh my God. Look, you got me. When you say welcome to death row, oh my God.
Yes. I said, oh my Lord. I was a lady.
Wait, and it had to make you mess up for the whole day. Because you like
all about what we're looking like and stuff. But we have to, in some form, we have to. Like I tell my kids, I tell my students, the first thing that a person sees is you. Before you even open up your mouth, they have dictated in their head how they're going to be with you. They looking at you from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet. So if you come all the way together, when you're out here in the field or you're out here looking for a job, or even if you're trying to get your point across, if you come correct without opening up your mouth, you'll be heard better. because they're going to be intrigued about trying to figure out what you got to say, or what's going on with you. And that's a little bit, some people just don't understand that. And sometimes they be like, well, why this person don't talk to me like that? Like, I've had a lot of other nurses like, how did you get that job? And I'm this and I'm qualified and I'm that. Did you take a look at the mirror? Did you check that out? You know what I mean? And get that together first. So when you ask, why not you? Ask yourself, why you? So it's a lot of that going on, and it leads people to being self-conscious.
Right. She said, hey, you're right. Yeah. And sometimes you make yourself up because it makes you feel good.
Mm-hmm.
It really does. Sometimes when you look good, you feel good.
You feel good.
Yeah. And your personality, it comes out different.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right. And you're right. You want to smile and things like that because, sometimes you're smiling, but deep down you're crying.
Tell you, that's the mask. Yeah. The mask.
Yeah. We got a lot going on. And sometimes we don't always portray that because often we have the weight of the world on our shoulders. Right. Yeah. Hold on one second. See, y'all should see me. I had to tell my daughter, come get the dog. See, they had that balance thing of why we needed this.
Mm-hmm. But you can always press mute.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of this. That's the beauty of this live. Because as you see our unbalance and some of the ways we do try to balance ourselves as entrepreneurs, maybe you won't feel so bad about that multitasking that you have to do to the viewers out there. You know what I mean? Because that's what it's all about. It's going to be some pitfalls. It's going to be some unbalancing out there. But if it's a perfect person out there that got it like all together, I want to meet them. I ain't gonna say I'm gonna take all your advice because I ain't gonna be all the organized this time.
Right.
But I would like to meet you though.
No. Yeah.
Because our imperfections make us.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. See, look, like you said, got all this going right here. That's our little dog Oliver. He barks at everybody.
I threw mine a snack and threw him out the door and then hurried up and closed the door. I got my snacks over here because he's a jealous little doggy. I have a Boston Terrier. So sometimes when I'm talking to somebody else, he thinks that I'm not supposed to. I should pay attention to play with him. He has this little bit of growl, like he's really going to do something, like he's a big dog.
Yeah.
And I just throw him a snack and then close the door.
Girl, I don't know. This one acts like he part of the Jacksons or something because he don't eat all of that. He wants your chicken. He wants any, he don't want to walk. He want to ride. Like, come on, dog. Really?
Yeah. Oh, he's a rider. He think he's supposed to ride every time you go out there to the car.
Yeah.
He know when you about to go because he try low on down there. But I love him because, we all go through times and we have to have something to lean on, and I chose my pet.
Yeah. She said we don't spoil. I'm telling you, this dog, my parents don't make. They take him. He goes to the bank. He go to the store. He go everywhere. This dog go more places than me. Me, as far as I go, to the porch. The porch.
I don't even sit on my porch. I mean, we've been in this house for about 2 years now. I haven't sat on the porch. I look out the window a lot. I might raise the window up, get a little breeze come up through. But I have not sat on the porch. It's just like by the time I get done doing what I have to do and everything else, it's time for me to be a wifey, be a mother, and go into that role.
Yeah. Well, look, I go on the porch. I haven't sat on the porch.
Cutie cute. That's all I wanted. Want to be all in the mix.
Oh my God. And he know when this Oliver.
Hey, Oliver. Let me be quiet because I don't want Buck to get jealous. He know when I'm talking to another dog too.
I mean, this she said outside make a don't you lick my table. Yeah, I'm telling you, I don't go, but put it this way, I go stand on the porch, get a little air, and then I come right back on it. Every day I say I'm gonna walk around the block. I haven't done that yet.
Yeah, I tried it. It was way too hot that day, and I don't think I walked to sit. I picked the wrong day to try it, because
Yeah.
it was torture. I was out there sweating. I was trying to do it live and trying to promote myself. I had to cut it off. I'm like, look, I need water. That's what I need.
I'm telling you.
I'm getting dehydrated. I feel myself shrinking. I need some water.
I'm telling you. Well, let me ask you a question because your business, right? So part of it is like home care and meals and stuff like that. That's great because I know when my grandmother was sick, like my mother and I, we had to cook the food, we had to take it there, we had to do her laundry, we had to do everything. And so programs, even like what you have, is like winning the lottery because
Yes.
it takes some of the pressure off, the family. It
Yes.
takes the pressure off. And it's a great thing because you always wonder, like, how is my loved one being taken care of? Now, sometimes, let's just be real. In our culture, we don't believe in putting our loved ones into no nursing home. We don't take care of them, right? And having something like that, honestly, is great.
Yeah, it's so fulfilling. I do enjoy taking care of my clients. That's where home of my own practically came from. Because a lot of our loved ones and our family members, they want to feel like they're in their own home. They want someone that they can consider as family when you're taking care of them, not someone randomly, just like in an industry style type of thing. They got to fill up the staff. Sometimes they got agency, sometimes they have Shanika, then they might have Pookie, and then Timmy, and everybody coming in touching all on you. But when you get that good, solid home care where for one, you can trust the care that's being provided. Not only that, when you also involve loved one's family in the type of care that you give out and educate them on providing that same type of care, or if they need, not a lot of times they don't know what the doctor is telling them. They just know I got high blood pressure, and I got to take this pill every single day. But why? And what are some other things that we can do?
Right.
What are some other things? What type of meals can I prepare for you? Or like with Alzheimer's and dementia, some don't know that they are routine based. They are very, very routine based. What about adapting to their routine? What about putting things into their routine because it would eliminate the combativeness? It would eliminate the distance that you might feel that I get from a lot of my clients. I feel distant from mom. I feel distant because they don't remember me. But you haven't adapted to that person.
Right.
Yeah, you're still going back to the other person that you knew of. But this is someone new,
Right.
and you have to take the time out to adapt. So a lot of times I find myself making focused care plans. Let's try this. Yeah, I have one client, I won't say any names, but I love her. She's an alcoholic though. She can't drink. Back in her time, she would drink and have parties and stuff. So now she's angry. She wanted to fight everybody. When I first met her, she did not like me. She just was angry. So I said, well, what does she like to drink? They said, oh, she loved that cognac. She liked brown liquor when she was. I said she did, but she also need to poop sometimes. So what about apple juice with the sparkling water? Because apple juice, right? It'll be nice and smooth, but I could get a bite with it with that sparkling water. After that Welcher sparkling water, mix it with the apple juice, it'll give her the bite. That's the trick of the bite. I came in. I said, she was doing all that. I said, you know what? We about to have a cocktail. I'm done. Just like you. And she looked, she said, oh, you talking my language. I went in there. I said, I got to go to the bar because sometimes that's what it takes. I mixed that apple juice up with that Welch's and everything. And I sat there nice in a nice little wine glass. I said, come on, let's have a drink. She said, oh, baby. Oh, this is good. Yes. I said, yes. That's that new cognac. So I'm going to help you both ways. I'm going to stimulate that gut so you can do what you need to do to excrete some of this. And I'm going to trick your mind and your taste buds so that we can cut all this combativeness, because that's what soothes you. But it's a trick of the mind, you know. So you don't know that you're even drinking the apple juice. All you know is that after you drink that cognac, give it a couple hours, you might have to go to the bathroom, you know, and then you tired. So let's get some rest. But it eliminates some of that stuff. So that's what I do when I go into homes, and they love it because they don't get that. And everybody's different. We are all different. I can't treat you. What may work with this client may not work with you. And that's what Home of My Own does. We treat everyone as an individual.
Mm-hmm.
Your care is your care in your home. And we want to adapt to the things that you really need, not what you think, okay, I might need assistance here. Can you assist with walking? After I'm done consulting and seeing what's really going on, you may not need that type of assistance. You may need this type of assistance.
Right.
This can make them independent at home. And maybe they're lagging on wanting to get up, wanting to walk around because they're not getting this. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of times that's where we're differing at, to have that education piece. And it's not just a check for me. It's really, I have empathy. And a lot of people don't carry that. And that is a passion that you must have when you are taking care of people. You must have some form of empathy for others. So
Yes.
you can understand, not be sympathetic to their issue. They don't need anyone feeling sorry for them. You know, they need someone to be empathetic to what is going on with them so that you can help them and find different ways to help. And then advocacy. You know, you have to be an advocate. Here at Home of Our Own, we are an advocate for everyone that we work with. I want to know your primary, because I have a care plan. I've been working with you for so many months or whatever, and I've seen this. And maybe he doesn't know that I've been checking your blood pressure every day. Maybe he hasn't seen these numbers. You see, so a lot of times at home, they don't have that advocate. And they need that. When you find a good home care that really makes you a part of theirs and not overwhelming, but I care about your need and I care about the independence that you want to adapt in yourself inside of your own home, then I'm the place you need to call. Home of My Own.
No, you know what? You're absolutely right. What I've been loving lately is seeing like these elderly people. Well, first of all, I guess they're not elderly, called elderly, mature.
No, they the aging community.
Yeah, the aging community. The aging community. You're right. I see them up there, and they doing all kind of. Then they got the what's that called? The leg shaking competition now.
Yes.
This guy up there, he 101 years old. You can't tell him he ain't doing it. I said, look at that. But his caregiver is working with him. And I said, you know, that's great, because it's almost like it gave him a new lease on life.
Yes.
He gets his blood circulating. He's having fun.
He's happy.
He's happy.
He's happy. A lot of times they're depressed, so they have a failure to thrive.
Yes.
They're depressed. So if you're sick and then you are depressed and you got a caregiver, oh, Mr. Jones, okay, time to get up. It's a routine here. You know you got to go eat. It's like they're in jail. But what about somebody that is going to make you laugh? That's going to come in there, you know, not, I don't like the ones that tell all that business, but come in there and just be like, you know, oh, I'm tired today too. My knees are hurting too. You know, it's real life. Aging is real life, and it is a normal part of life. Everyone will age at some point in time and will need assistance. And a lot of that is reassuring for someone. But to see them out there, because before I see a lot of these videos where they are dancing and they're moving and stuff. But I bet you before that they were sitting idle. Because no one ever promoted that. And it was like a big no-no. Don't do that. Don't do that. So Mr. Jones might fall. Mr. Jones might do that. How do you know? How do you know he might fall? Did you not educate me? Did you train me on how to use the devices? Use the gate belt to appropriately allow someone to have the feeling of independence and joy.
And that's what they want to need. Yes, yes. I remember when I worked at a nursing home years ago, right? The lady, she was almost 50, but she was bedridden. And when I heard her story, I was like, you need to write this down, because she couldn't talk because she had a stroke. I wanted to hear a story, because what happened was she was young, and back then nursing homes were not for the younger population.
No, and not at all.
And she was a nurse. But what happened was she cheated on her husband, and the boyfriend and her was smoking crack. Ooh. And she had a stroke. So she couldn't talk anymore. I thought that story was the coolest story, right? I was like, I want to know more.
It goes with the Bible.
I want to know more.
Never did that, baby.
Yeah. I want to know more. Like, how did it happen? Like,
right.
I wanted to know everything. But it's funny because when you say that, because when I would come in, like, again, I was going to nursing school. I said, oh, this ain't for me. But I wanted to know more. It's like she would light up because people treated her like she was invisible. Yes. And I'm like, this lady's only in her 40s. She can't speak. She's paralyzed on one side, but she's only in her 40s.
Right.
I said her cognition is still good. But I wanted to know, and she could write. I was like, no, we're going to sit here.
They forget that. Yeah. They forget that. They only look at, like, I think some people just go in with what they see. Yeah. And they really don't try to see that person. Yes. They can have left-sided weakness. Okay, but what about the right side? So I am supposed to be the strength of where you are weak at. Right. All the time as the caregiver. So why can't I utilize that and build a trusting relationship all while I'm teaching body mechanics? Right. At the same time. You know what I mean? It's so tricky out here that some of these places, they are literally in it just for money. Yeah. Just for money. I'm just gonna go in and they act like they want to do it, but then you don't recognize the change of condition when someone's upset, and they're not the same anymore. You take it as being combative. Yeah. Or they don't want to listen. I had a client would call me all the time. Well, what's wrong? What's wrong? What's really wrong? Come to find out, she has a couple more diagnoses that the doctor had said. It wasn't that she was trying to be evil or bugging somebody. She was complaining about everything. So I made a point. I'm going to come and see you. I'm going to see where I'm about to be, but I want to know what is wrong. What's the root cause of all your anger? Yeah. Something, it's something going on. And those are the things that I think home care providers, even in nursing homes, you need to pay attention to changes of condition, not only physically, but mentally. Are they happy today? Are they sad today? Are they this? Because the unspoken word, body language speaks out abundantly. Yeah. And if you're able to observe that and hone in on that, it makes caregiving a lot better. And the trusting relationship between a caregiver and a client builds upon itself. Yeah. Yeah. I remember when I worked for when I worked for a nurse home, I used to tell them, because things wasn't in computers like that, right? And I used to tell them family members, when you take your loved one to the doctor, take all of their medication with them, because then the doctor knows. Sometimes doctors over medicate people. Yes. And that plays a part in how they feel. They may not be feeling good because they're over medicated. Right. You go into these doctors sometimes, you may have a little ache or pain or something. Next thing you know, they're over medicating you. And they get 20,000 refills. Yep. But come to find out, you may have not needed it. It could just be changing your diet. Yeah. It could even be like the color in foods, like drinks and stuff. They have dyes, fructose, syrup. No, they're numbered. Like a lot of times you don't pay attention to it, but all those dyes and drinks, they have numbers attached to them, and they may not be good for you. Or like it could be food, like the diet. Like sometimes when they say farm raised or something like that, you don't know what the diet is that they're giving that chicken, that cow, right? So it could be some of the enzymes or something that's in those foods. In the food, so they should know. That's where advocacy comes in. Yes. As a home care provider, a lot of times people are undereducated about how they should go to the doctor. every time you go to the doctor, you need your packet with you. You need what you're taking, how you're taking it, when the last time it was prescribed, when did they discontinue this, your diet, what are you eating in the last 2 weeks? You need that, your last weight, all of that. And that's where a good home care providership, a good one, not nobody that's gonna Google, give me a couple papers that you're gonna print off. No, someone that's already keeping track of that, because I take care of you. You know what I mean? So I already know what you're eating. I'm coming in and I'm checking this. So when it's time for you to have your follow-up, okay, Mrs. Jones, this, that, and the other, this is what's going on. And that's what they need with home care providers, not just come and assist me on a day-to-day task, but actually be there to make me independent. I feel like this is just me. You have to be able to thrive. You know what I mean? In anything you do. I told you a little bit of my story, as far as being shot and stuff.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have lived. Even though today they're like, how did you do that? How? Half of my face, missing half of my mouth, my teeth, everything. I had to retrain my tongue, but I had to thrive.
Yes.
To do it. This is something that was in me. I wanted to live. And a lot of times, it takes that from an individual. You have to have the thrive to want to do something. And I'm not just going to let you soothe it with a piece of medication. Right. I'm not just gonna let you just relax it. It's some things I need. Yes, I'm gonna need it for the rest of my life. But there's other things that I can do without. And it's other non-pharmacological things that I can put in place with that'll help me and do the same thing that you're trying to do with a pill.
No, you're absolutely right. I tell people all the time, like, look, you are your advocate, okay? You are your doctor. And I know sometimes doctors will tell patients, oh, don't Google this and do that. Let me tell you, I've been in this industry for over 25 years. And I'm here to tell you that if you get a good nurse, doctor, or CNA, whomever, right?
Right.
Treasure them. And sometimes the nurse, the CNA, know more than the doctor. They just may have not gone through all the training. But they can pick up on things quicker than those doctors can.
Yes, absolutely.
You have doctors out there, and it's not knocking.
Don't know. I mean, they only know the big things.
Yeah.
The endocrinology variability.
Yeah. That's what they know. You go to school, you grade it,
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, you're a doctor, right? And it's not knocking them, but they're not like they used to be, where they had good bedside manner.
Yes.
Where some of them, I remember, you can pick up the phone and call them. They come over. And I swear, that's why I never got rid of my doctors. When they retire, I'd be so upset, because I'm like, they don't over medicate you. They answer their phones. I don't have to speak to 20 people before I get to them. It's good. But a lot of these doctors are overworked. Some of them guess what? They're on somebody's couch too. They may not be feeling well either. So you have to be.
You have to advocate.
Yes. Yeah. If you're not, you better tell a friend or family member, because they will medicate you, because they
will, just to get you up out of that office. I call it train the trainer.
Yeah.
Hey, baby, you got to train the trainer. Sometime when you go on these doctor's appointments, you got to care enough about yourself that you're not just going to leave it in somebody's hands who probably have seen 200 patients in that one time.
Yeah.
And expect them to give you individualized, undivided attention. It's not going to happen. So you have to be willing to, and it takes steps to do that, but you have to be willing to advocate for yourself.
Yes. Yep. You're absolutely right. And Google whatever you need to do, but know your body.
Yeah, absolutely.
Know your body, because if you go in there with an ache and pain or whatever, they're like, oh, this is wrong with, and it may not be, because they get all kind of kickbacks, for the medication, for the scripts they're writing. So again, I'm glad we had this conversation.
Absolutely. It's after 6. I was just looking at that. I'm about to say, oh, I done went past that time. I got a little one here looking in this little light.
Oh, Let me tell you, I said I was going to be shutting stuff down. I meant it. And we're going to be doing so many other things.
Yes.
We needed this. And again, as you see, we need help with work-life balance too. We're entrepreneurs. We need help too. We're just like everybody else.
Yes.
We are just like it. So I want to say thank you again for coming on. Thank you so much.
Not a problem. Anytime. I love the conversations we have. I love it. I love the dialogue, you know, back and forth on different subjects. It's so amazing. So thank you for inviting me to be a part of your show.
Thank you. Thank you. And look, everybody, you know, I don't edit. I don't know how to do any of that stuff. So what you see is
live and raw.
Yeah. And look, it fit right into it. That whole balance, right? I got on the shirt and I got my pajama pants on the bottom.
That's all right, though. That's all right. I put a little eyeshadow on. I'm trying. I was on YouTube before this. I think yes, I'm going to do that. I'm going to get it together.
Yeah, I'm telling you, look, I don't have to slick my eyebrows now. I got big black
baby. But we going to get it. No, don't death row for me. Not for me.
Oh, my God. No, child. Well, look, like I said, I ain't gonna be looking like Eddie King in the 5 Heartbeats. That's like I can sing. I can't. Okay? I'm just letting y'all know I ain't Eddie King. I ain't his cousin either. But look, you know, I'll be like, long story short, and it ain't gonna be short. So thank you all, everyone. If you need help with, like I said, your family or whatever caregiver, it is important. Please reach out to Rasheedah. Please do. Matter of fact, when we finish, you know, when this thing renders and we get it all together and I send it out, I'm going to tag her and we're going to post on social.
Absolutely.
All of her contact information will be right there. You guys see me every day, so you know you can always contact me. But please do. If you want that good, you know, care. Even, and let me just say one thing, right? You may not need it now, but at least get the information because you just never know. Don't wait until something happens, but be proactive because when something happens, now you scrounging around, your family trying to scrounge around to see, you know, how you can get the help. It's already there. The resources is right there. Go on her website. I'm going to post it, like I said, when it renders. I'm sleepy and I'll do it tomorrow.
Yep. So thank you, everyone. Thank you. Nice to see you. I'll talk to you soon, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Nice to see you. Bye-bye.
You've been listening to The Truth of the Matter with Dr. Spencer. Yes, we talk about taboo topics, but that's life, and we keep it real and raw. Our passion is to educate and enlighten. We hope you've enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure to like, rate, and review the show. And we'll be back soon. But if you have a unique relationship situation and you'd like help, or you're tired of having to choose between your career and personal life, Dr. Lamarr Renee Spencer is a life alignment strategist and a certified life, relationship, and business coach. So make sure to reach out on Instagram and TikTok at Dr. Lamarr Spencer, on Twitter at Dr. Spencer 15, on Facebook at Dr. Lamarr Renee Spencer, and the website drlamarrspencer.com. Or go old school and call 973-214-6464. Don't forget to purchase the book, The Depth and Diversity with Relationships. Find it on Amazon and the website. See you next time on The Truth of the Matter.